same acquired the greatest wealth of Gora Prema. Lochan says, why did I not adore such a repository of bounding grace? By that I've brought a thunderbolt upon my head. Okay. It's also not even that good of a translation. Jaya, Jaya Advaita, Acarya Doyamoy, Jaya, Jaya Advaita, Acarya Jaya, Jaya Advaita, Acarya Doyamoy, Jaya, Jaya Advaita. Jar Hunkare Gora Avatara Hoy, Avatara Hoy. Jar Hunkare Gora Avatara Advaita, Acarya Doyamoy, Jaya, Jaya Advaita, Premadata Sitanath, Karuna Shagara, Karuna Shagara, Premadata Sitanath. Premadata Sitanath, Karuna Shagara, Karuna Shagara. Jar prem rashe aila Goranga Sundara, Goranga Sundara. যার প্রেম রসে আইলা গৌরাঙ্গ সুন্দর গৌরাঙ্গ সুন্দর Jaya Jaya Advaita Acarya Dayamoy Advaita Acarya Dayamoy যাহারে করুণা করি কৃপা দিতে চায় কৃপা দিতে চায় করুণা করি যাহারে করুণা করি কৃপা দিতে চায় কৃপা দিতে চায় প্রেমাবেশে সে জনা চৈতন্য গুণ গায় চৈতন্য গুণ গায় চৈতন্য গুণ গায় প্রেমাবেশে সে জনা চৈতন্য গুণ গায় চৈতন্য গুণ গায় Jaya Jaya Advaita Acarya Dayamoy তাহার চরণে যেবা লইলা শরণ লইলা শরণ তাহার চরণে যেবা Loila Sharana Loila Sharana Jana Paila Gaura Prema Mahadan Prema Mahadan Jana Paila Gaura Prema Mahada Prema Mahada Jaya Jaya Advaita Acharya Dayamoy Emana Doyara Nidhi Kene Nabajilu Kene Nabajilu Emana Doyara Nidhi Kene Nabajilu Kene Nabajilu Lochan bole nij mathe bajara parilu bajara parilu mathe bajara parilu Lochan bole nij mathe bajara parilu bajara parilu Jaya Jaya Advaita Acarya Dayamon Jaya Advaita Jaya Jaya Advaita Acarya Dayamon Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Sitanath Premanande Hari Hari Bol Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Advaita Saptami Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Ashtotra Sata Shri Srimad Srila Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Ashtotra Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री अद्वैत आचार्य की जय अद्वैत सप्तमी की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga all glories to Srila Prabhupada Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swaminiti Namane Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 6, verse 5. Advaitam. Sorry, we should be reading from text. Actually, this is the wrong verse. We should be going to Adi 1, 12. Mahavishnur Jagatkarta Mayaya Yaha Shrujati Adhaha Tasya Avataraha Eva Ayam Advaita Acharyaha Ishwaraha Mahavishnur Jagatkarta Mahavishnur Jagatkarta Mayaya Yashrjatyadaha Mayaya Yashrjatyadaha Tasyavatara evayam Tasyavatara evayam Advaita Acharya Ishwaraha Advaita Acharya Ishwaraha Mahavishnur Jagatkarta Mayaya Yashrjatyadaha Tasyavatara evayam Advaita Acharya Ishwaraha Mahavishnur Jagatkarta Mayaya Yashrjatyadaha Tasyavatara evayam Advaita Acharya Ishwaraha. Please repeat. Mahavishnur Jagatkarta Mayaya Yashrjatyadaha Mayaya Yashrjatyadaha Tasyavatara evayam Advaita Acharya Ishwaraha Mahavishnur Jagatkarta Mayaya Yashrjatyadaha Tasyavatara evayam Advaita Acharya Ishwaraha Mahavishnur Jagatkarta Mayaya Yashrjatyadaha Tasyavatara evayam Advaita Acharya Ishwaraha. Matajis. Mahavishnur Jagatkarta Mayaya Yashrjatyadaha Tasyavatara evayam Advaita Acharya Ishwaraha Mahavishnur Jagatkarta Mayaya Yashrjatyadaha Tasyavatare vayam Advaita Acharya Ishwaraha. Word to word, Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu, the resting place of the efficient cause. Jagat Karta, creator of the cosmic world. Mayaya, by the illusory energy. Yaha, who, Srijati, creates. Adhaha, that universe. Tasya, his. Avataraha, incarnation. Eva, certainly. Ayam, this. Advaita Acharya, Advaita Acharya. Ishvaraha, the Supreme Lord, the resting place of the material cause. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Advaita Acharya is the incarnation of Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the actions of Maya. Please repeat also. Advaitam harina advaitad Acharyam bhakti samshanat Bhaktavatarami tam Advaita Acharyamashraye. Because he is non-different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita. And because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Therefore, I take shelter of him. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utaf Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today is the appearance day of Srila Advaita Acharya Prabhu. He is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, and this is a very, very important day for us because Lord Chaitanya, his movement, Sankirtan, all of us practicing Krishna consciousness wouldn't be here if Advaita Acharya did not appear. And many devotees haven't read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Therefore, it is very important for devotees to read the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Because in this, Srila Prabhupada, he summarizes the most important teachings found in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Another important, a very good book to read is Lord Chaitanya and Five Features. This is one of the chapters in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, we chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the Chaitanya Charitamrita explains who this is. He says, Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So, who are these? We chant these prayers every day. We should know, we should understand, we should meditate upon who the Panchatattva is. We say Panchatattva. Panchatattva basically means 5 features, 5 philosophies actually. Panchatattva, or 5 aspects of the Supreme Lord. So, Panchatattva of Panchatattvatmakam Krishna. It is 5 features, 5 aspects of Krishna himself. How? Krishna is Lord Chaitanya. Now, you have in Panchatattvatmakam Krishna, Bhakta Rupa. So, Krishnam Bhakta Rupa. So, Krishna has come in the form of his devotee. That is Lord Chaitanya himself. So, that's Krishna. Krishna has appeared in the form of his devotee, Bhakta Rupa. And then Swarupakam. So the Swarupa, if you hear Gokul Chandra Prabhu's class on the divine forms of Krishna, you'll see that the first Swarupa of Krishna is, who is it? Balaram. Balaram is Swarupa. Is his own form, but just in a different mood. So that similarly, Lord Chaitanya, Swarupakam, is not Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and appeared as a servitor of Lord Chaitanya. But it's his own form. Nityananda Prabhu sometimes, now this is where we need to kind of understand a little bit of the difference between Advaita Acarya and Nityananda Prabhu. So next word is Swarupakam. Then you have Bhakta Avataram. You have the incarnation of a devotee. So that is referring to Advaita Acharya. In that verse, that is referring to Advaita Acharya. Bhakta Avatar. He is the incarnation of a devotee. Now what is that? Devotee incarnation. Incarnation of devotee of the Supreme Lord. Because incarnation means of the Supreme Lord. Avatar is referred to the Supreme Lord. So Bhakta Avataram. So what is the difference? You'll see in, so let's go to here. I'll read this purport of Srila Prabhupada. Adi 7:14. Eka Mahaprabhu Ara Prabhu Dui Jan Dui Prabhu Seve Mahaprabhu Racharan. One of them is Mahaprabhu and the other two are Prabhus. These two Prabhus serve the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. So it's actually very nice Bengali, if you can. People like myself can't really perceive that, but it's there. It's very beautiful, very poetic. So Prabhupada writes, although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and Sri Advaita Prabhu all belong to the same Vishnu category, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is nevertheless accepted as the supreme, and the other two Prabhus engage in his transcendental loving service to teach ordinary living entities that every one of us is subordinate to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In another place, in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 5:142, it is said, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasa Babhritya. The only supreme master is Krishna, and all others, both Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva, engage in the service of the Lord. Both the Vishnu Tattva, as Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita, and the Jiva Tattva, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, engage in the service of the Lord. But one must distinguish between the Vishnu Tattva servitors and the Jiva Tattva servitors. The Jiva Tattva servitor, the spiritual master, is actually the servitor God. As explained in previous verses, in the absolute world there are no such differences. Yet one must observe these differences in order to distinguish the Supreme from his subordinates. There's a lot in this purport here. That you see Nityananda Prabhu, so in that Pancha Tattva, you have Bhakta Rupa, Swarupa and Bhakta Avatar. All these three, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya are all Vishnu Tattva. They are Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Then you have other two. What is that? Bhakta Avataram, Isham Tam. Then, sorry, I'm mixing the verses. Bhakta Rupa, Swarupakam, Bhakta Avataram, Bhakta Akyam. So, Bhakta Akyam. So, that refers to who? Who does that refer to in the Panchatattva? No, Gadadhar Pandit. Bhakta Akyam. And then Bhakta Shakti. Bhakti Shakti is refers to Srivas Thakur. Why? Who is Srivas Thakur? Narada Muni. Srivas Thakur is Narada Muni. Narada Muni is the Shakti Avesh avatar of devotional service, Bhakti Shakti. So in that Pancha Tattva, Narada Muni is Jiva Tattva. Or who's Gadadhar Pandit? He's not Jiva. But he's not Vishnu Tattva either. Who's Gadadhar Pandit? She's incarnation of Srimati Radharani, who's Shakti Tattva. incarnation of the internal potency. So, now the first three, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya, are Vishnu Tattva. Yet there is a difference, as stated in this verse, that one is Mahaprabhu, the other two are Prabhus, and the two Prabhus serve Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, even though they are Vishnu Tattva, they are Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, they serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is a very, very interesting point to understand. That, and it can be a little, this cannot be understood by those who are not devotees. But those who are Vaishnavas, they can understand this. That one form of Krishna can serve another form of Krishna. One form of Krishna considers himself subordinate to another form of Krishna. This philosophy is not just unique to Gaudiya Vaishnavism. It is found even in Sri Vaishnavism. For instance, in the Sri Vaishnavas, the other deities of Vishnu are said to serve the deity of Ranganath. They have what they call in Manipravala, they say Periya Perumal, Siriya Perumal. Periya Perumal refers to the senior Vishnu, and then you have the junior Vishnu. So literally they say, because one deity considers himself Sabha, and ultimately when there is a conflict of interest between these two deities, the senior deity's interest will take precedence. So for instance, when Sri Ramanujacharya was preaching, he was in Kanchipuram and he had to move to Sri Rangam. And in Kanchipuram, the presiding deity is Sri Varadaraja. And the presiding deity of Sri Rangam is Sri Ranganath. Now Sri Ranganath wanted Ramanujacharya, but Varadaraj didn't want to give up Ramanujacharya. So there was a conflict there. But there it was resolved, because Ranganath is the senior Vishnu and Varadaraj is junior Vishnu. Varadaraj has to abide by the desires of the senior Vishnu, and therefore Ramanuja was ordered to go to Sri Rangam. So in this way, you see, and you can also see this in Lord Krishna's pastimes. Where can you see this in Krishna's pastimes? Yes. Mahavishnu wanted to have darshan of Krishna. And so, he enacts this whole pastime. What pastime? Yeah, how did Mahavishnu, huh? Yeah, but why did they go there?
I think he
Stole what? He stole the son of his guru. So son of the guru, yeah. So he stole the son of the guru, and the son of the guru is not even found in Yamaloka. Where did he go? He took him all the way out of the universe. So why? Because Mahavishnu wanted to have darshan of Krishna. And it's an amazing... See, because Krishna is Leela Purushottam Bhagavan. Leela Purushottam Bhagavan. He is Rasa Vigraha. Right? Krishna is Rasa Vigraha. He is the embodiment of all the mellows of devotional service and the supreme enjoyer. Krishna is the absolute supreme enjoyer. He is so much the enjoyer that he enjoys over his other forms. And the other forms recognize that Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer, and therefore if there is any... So therefore the other forms have an attitude of service. And as the forms manifest from each other, that service attitude also manifests to a greater degree. And the degree of them exhibiting themselves as an enjoyer consecutively is hidden, you can say. It's not that it doesn't exist, it's hidden. For instance, Balaram, who is the source of all the different Vishnu forms, enjoys or exhibits the mood of enjoyment more than the forms of Vishnu. Because they are. And the forms of... And Gradually, especially as you come into the material world, the forms of Vishnu have particular duties, so-called duties, although Krishna doesn't have any duty to perform. Name karmani limpanti, name karma pale sprihaha. I don't have to, I'm not affected by any karma, nor do I have to perform any karma. But yet, the forms of Vishnu, they perform certain duties. And they act as the creators, the maintainers, etc. Or the Paramatma has his duty where he is the observer, the witness, and the the sanctioner. Now, why are we talking about all this? Because Mahavishnu, Karnodakashayi Vishnu, is Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahavishnu. That we just read that. Mahavishnu Jagat Karta Maya Yashrujat Yadaha. He created the entire universe by his mystic potency. Tasyavataram evayam. His incarnation is Advaita Acharya. So, Advaita Acharya is the Lord and Master of the entire material universe. It is by his desire that the material universe is created. He is facilitating the creation of the entire material universe, and he wounds up the material universe when he thinks it's time up. So, Advaita Acharya Prabhu appears in this world, and he comes because Mahavishnu, realizing that it is time for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, appears in this world carrying that mood. Ultimately, it is Krishna's desire to spread the Sankirtan movement. Mahavishnu, realizing that this is Krishna's desire, appears in this material world with that mood and that attitude as Advaita Acharya. He appears as Advaita Acharya and he prays for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. Now, why is Advaita Acharya facilitating Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance? Because that's how every incarnation in this material world appears. That is also we have to try to understand. We have to try to understand that every incarnation of Krishna, Krishna himself first displays a four-handed form of Vishnu, then manifests his two-armed baby form. So therefore, when Gokul Prabhu also explains this, that all the incarnations of the Supreme Lord, when they descend from the spiritual world, they come through the medium of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu he is the Supreme Lord, and he is also the way in which all the other incarnations appear. It's all very inconceivable, but we have to try to hear these things because these are the glories of Advaita Acharya Prabhu. And so therefore, Advaita Acharya rightfully is coming and calling out the Supreme Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to descend. Or basically, he is calling out to Krishna. He comes and he appears in this material world, sees that in this material world that everybody is lacking devotional service. There is no sign of devotional service. Advaita Acharya Prabhu is leading the Vaishnavas in worshipping Krishna in Navadvip at that time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. And Advaita Acharya is very pained to see all these different forms of worship, completely devoid of understanding of pure devotional service. In a lecture called Pastimes of Advaita Acharya, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj said people were worshipping all kinds of things, including dogs, if I heard it right. People were worshipping all kinds of things, and Advaita Acharya was very, 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 very sad to see this. And therefore he resolves that he must pray for the Supreme Lord to appear. Now, because Advaita Acharya Prabhu is Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu is in the mood of serving the higher forms of the Supreme Lord, he prays to Krishna. He takes a form of worship. What form of worship? He worships a Shalagram Shila of Krishna, and he worships that Shalagram Shila with water from Ganga and Tulasi. And he cries out loud. Huhunkara is the word that is used. And later, when Mahaprabhu displays his What's that called? Mahaprakash. Mahaprakash Leela, Mahaprabhu, because in that mood of Mahaprakash, Mahaprabhu is exhibiting the mood of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not exhibiting the mood of being a devotee. And he calls out to Advaita Acharya, you disturbed my sleep by all this loud crying. And I was forced to descend into this material world. So Advaita Acharya was crying out to the Supreme Lord to appear. And he prayed, and therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Now, what is another interesting difference between Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, is that we see in the song, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More. There it is said, Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai. That it is by Advaita Acharya's mercy that one gets Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu. Chaitanya and Nityananda would not have appeared if Advaita Acharya did not call for them to descend. Why? Because Nityananda Prabhu is not going to come without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Balaram will not come without Krishna. So in the same way, because Advaita Acharya convinced Lord Chaitanya to descend into this material world, therefore Nityananda Prabhu appeared. So therefore Advaita Acharya is representative of the spiritual master. He even more, because Advaita Acharya was manifesting his pastimes as being an Acharya, as the leader of the Vaishnavas, teaching pure devotional service by his own conduct and creating the Vaishnava Sangha for them to practice devotional service. He was doing all of this even before Lord Chaitanya appeared, even before Nityananda Prabhu manifested his pastimes. You see, Nityananda Prabhu, he appeared in this world and he appeared in Ekachakra. But he did not manifest his full nature as the distributor of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya until Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself manifested the purpose of his incarnation. Nityananda Prabhu was largely hidden. He was doing yatra, traveling around this and that. Finally, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, reveals his true purpose, why he has come, and he starts enacting his pastimes, past his childhood period of being a scholar. Now he is enacting the pastimes of being a devotee. Nityananda Prabhu arrives on the scene. So, but Advaita Acharya, on the other hand, he's already displaying pure devotional service. He was already giving classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's older brother, Vishwarup, was attending those classes. So, from this we can understand how Advaita Acharya is actually even more merciful than Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because it is by his mercy that one gets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. And just like our spiritual master, Advaita Acharya Prabhu displays that quality of the spiritual master, that he's always dependent on the mercy of the Supreme Lord. The Advaita Acharya, even though he was preaching Krishna consciousness and he was facilitating that for all the other Vaishnavas of Navadvip, he didn't feel competent. He didn't feel, he felt lacking without the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And spiritual master displays that quality of always being dependent on the Supreme Lord. Advaita Acharya displays that the most. His whole pastime you will see. Advaita Acharya, although he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, hardly you will see that he reveals that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You will not find. Nityananda Prabhu sometimes reveals. Sometimes he reveals in his pastime. You will not see in Advaita Acharya. That is the mood. Just like the spiritual master, he doesn't display so easily his advanced spiritual nature. His intimacy with the Supreme Lord, he does not display. Actually, Advaita Acharya, let's go through those verses. 6:5. Okay. So Advaita Acharya is indeed directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. His glory is beyond the conception of ordinary living beings. Maybe we should go to the index, because there's one thing that calls it limb. So I didn't note that verse. Yeah, there it is. Say Narayanera Mukhya Anga Advaita Anga Shabde Amshakari Kohe Bhagavata. Sri Advaita is the principal limb, Anga, of Narayana. Srimad Bhagavatam speaks of limb, Anga, as a plenary portion, Amsha, of the Lord. Ishwarera Anga Amsha Chidananda Maya Mayara Sambandha Nahi E Shloka Koi. This verse describes that the limbs and plenary portions of the Lord are all spiritual. They have no relationship with the material energy. Amshana kahiya kene kahatanre anga amsha hoite anga jate hoi antaranga. Why has Sri Advaita been called a limb and not a part? The reason is that a limb implies greater intimacy. So, Advaita Acharya is a limb of the Supreme Lord. He's referred to as like that, meaning greater intimacy. And in that sense, we can understand that the spiritual master, even though the spiritual master is the servant of the Supreme Lord, and we are also trying to be servants of the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master has greater intimacy with the Supreme Lord, but he does not display that intimacy very easily. Advaita Acharya has that great intimacy with the Supreme Lord. And because of that intimacy, he is able to call the Supreme Lord from the spiritual world down, descend to this material world. In the same way, the spiritual master also installs vigrahas of Krishna. Shri Vigrahara Dhananityanana Shringara Tanman Dhiramarjanado. That the spiritual master, he manifests Krishna for us. When the spiritual master chants Hare Krishna and the disciples hears that, the disciple receives Krishna from the spiritual master. Because the spiritual master is an intimate associate. What is that verse? He says that Chaitanya Prakash. There's a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yadyapi amar guru Chaitanya das tadapi janiye ami tanhara prakash. Yadyapi amar guru Chaitanya das. Even though I am aware that my spiritual master is a servant of Lord Chaitanya, Chaitanya das, I am aware that he is Chaitanya. Yadyapi amar guru Chaitanya das. Tatapi janiye ami tanhara prakash. But I also know that he is an expansion of Lord Chaitanya. And Srila Prabhupada makes that point in this verse. He says that the spiritual master is indeed a manifestation of the Supreme Lord. Yet one must understand between the Vishnu Tattva servitors and the difference between the Vishnu Tattva servitors and the Jiva Tattva servitors. So here, Advaita Acharya, being Vishnu himself, teaches, because Krishna has to teach everything. From Krishna comes everything. The concept of discipleship, the concept of etiquette, the concept of showing respect to one's seniors. All of this comes from Krishna himself. And Advaita Acharya, being Mahavishnu, he manifests all of this and he teaches this by his own example. Therefore, he is called Advaita. Advaita refers to one who is non-different from Krishna. He is non-different because he is Mahavishnu. He is not a Jiva. Yet, what is he? He is Acharya. He teaches by example. And this is very, very important to understand. That this day actually is extremely significant for us. Even though we don't celebrate it with as much pomp and splendor as Nityananda Trayodasi or Gaura Purnima. Actually, Advaita Saptami is very, 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 very significant for us because we are conditioned souls. And ultimately, it is by Advaita Acharya's mercy that we can escape this material world. Maya who we are struggling against every single day. Every single day we are struggling against Maya. We are struggling against the mind, the intelligence, the senses. These are all created by Mahavishnu. Simply, they're all completely under his control. And when he desires, he wounds up the entire material manifestation. All that Maya becomes completely finished. Similarly, in our personal lives, with Advaita Acharya's mercy, we can wound up by his mercy, all the nonsense in our minds, all the nonsense things that is preventing us from Krishna conscious, from being Krishna conscious, that can be wound up as easily as he just breathes in the material universes. For him, it's nothing. He just breathes out and breathes in. And he's resting in this state of yoga nidra. And we have to recognize the fact that Lord Chaitanya, his incarnation, is a very, very significant thing. It's not like in other sampradayas or in general among the Vedic culture, incarnations of Lord Rama, Varaha, Nrsimha, these are all celebrated. And they deserve celebration. They are all glorious. Yet, we have to understand the significance of Lord Chaitanya's incarnation. The significance of Lord Chaitanya's incarnation is that it happened specifically to deliver the conditioned souls. Of course, there is an internal cause. That it is so amazing that the desire to deliver the conditioned souls was somehow inconceivably clubbed with displaying the most highest thing in the spiritual world that even the other pure devotees of the Lord don't have a conception of. What is that? That is Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna. This is such a high topic that even the other great exalted pure devotees, the great demigods, they have no idea about this. And somehow saving the souls in the most degraded age has been somehow clubbed with this, like tying the lowest with the highest. Like the gap and the difference cannot be greater. It just cannot be greater. How is this supposed to happen? It's completely inconceivable. And it's still inconceivable for us. I was driving with Bhakta Mason yesterday and we were looking at this bar. It's this dark, dingy, like ugly bar. And there's so many people inside that bar. It doesn't even look like a nice building. It stinks and they're playing some, trashy music. And they're all drinking and, it's so-called, educated people or whatever. And I was just saying, how is Lord Chaitanya's mercy? How is he supposed to make these people Krishna conscious? How is it supposed to happen? It's completely inconceivable. At least even completely inconceivable. But we should have faith that it will happen. I mean, before Srila Prabhupada came, people said, how is he supposed to go and preach in all over the world? It's impossible. This must be it's more poetical than it is literal. That even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples thought like that. So even now this is inconceivable for us in every single... it's inconceivable that we are practicing Krishna consciousness. So this inconceivability has been facilitated by Advaita Acharya Prabhu's appearance. Mahavishnu, who is inconceivable in himself, whose entire creation is inconceivable. We read all this, we're reading in the Bhagavatam 3rd canto, all the manifestation of the material. It's completely inconceivable. What is manifesting? One is manifesting from another. How the hell is it supposed to happen? But if that is inconceivable, what is even more inconceivable is that the highest form of devotional service, which is inconceivable to those who are supposedly so qualified, is being distributed freely to the worst conditioned fallen souls of this material world. And that is Advaita Acharya Prabhu's mercy. This is completely Advaita Acharya Prabhu's mercy. And the spiritual master, especially our lineage, coming from Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, they are bestowed with that potency of Advaita Acharya Prabhu to make that which is inconceivable conceivable by depending fully and solely on Gauranga Mahaprabhu. They are full and dedicated servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Unalloyed servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Inconceivable, the things they do. What did Advaita Acharya Prabhu do? Inconceivable things he did. He put a Muslim and he fed him Shrad Patra. He made him the Shrad Patra. The Brahmana who is supposed to eat the offering to please the forefathers, to deliver the forefathers, was given to a Muslim. Haridas Thakur, who is considered an outcast. Advaita Acharya appeared in the highest lineage of the Brahmanas. Like among Brahmanas, there are different clans. Advaita Acharya appeared in a very, very high lineage of Brahmanas. And he was giving respect to a Muslim person more than he was to all the exalted, scholarly, great lineage, people who are coming from great lineages, etc., those kind of Brahmanas in Navadvip. Completely, they were very furious. These Brahmanas didn't even like Haridas Thakur chanting the holy name. What is that? That we saw that actually. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj sent that today. His quote. He says, this is Prabhupada, Antya Leela, chapter 3, text 220, purport. While Haridas Thakur was staying under the care of Advaita Acharya, he was afraid of the behavior of the society in Shantipur, Navadvip, which was full of exceedingly aristocratic Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family and was later recognized as a great Vaishnava, but nevertheless, the Brahmanas were very critical of him. Thus, Haridas Thakur was afraid that Advaita Acharya would be put into some difficulty because of his familiarity with Haridas Thakur. Sri Advaita Acharya treated Haridas Thakur as a most elevated Vaishnava, but others like Ramachandra Khan were envious of Haridas Thakur. Of course, we have to follow in the footsteps of Advaita Acharya, not caring for people like Ramachandra Khan. At present, many Vaishnavas are coming to our Krishna consciousness movement from among the Europeans and Americans. And although men like Ramachandra Khan are always envious of such Vaishnavas, one should follow in the footsteps of Sri Advaita Acharya by treating all of them as Vaishnavas. Although they are not as exalted as Haridas Thakur, such Americans and Europeans, having accepted the principles of Vaishnava philosophy and behavior, should never be excluded from Vaishnava society. So, this is Advaita Acharya's mood. Advaita Acharya did not consider the birth as a qualification for someone to become a Vaishnava. He regarded them all as Vaishnavas, provided that they were willing to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he gave them shelter, even at the risk of his own life. Therefore, Haridas Thakur was afraid to associate with Advaita Acharya because he was afraid that if he associates, some trouble may come to Advaita Acharya. And Haridas Thakur was also afraid from these aristocratic Brahmana, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. So this is, but still, he was given protection. Srila Prabhupada also vehemently supported his disciples in India against all odds. They were not recognized as devotees. They were not recognized as so-called Hindus. And Advaita Acharya, apart from that, so now, when an Acharya does something, later sometimes his disciples don't accept it, the so-called disciples. And Advaita Acharya also, some of his descendants, they rejected things that Advaita Acharya did. And because of that, they become Asara. Acharya Mata Jai, Jai Mata Sar. That verse, that Acharya Mata Jai, that the opinion of the Acharya, that is the essence. Jai Mata Sar. And one who doesn't regard the opinion of the Acharya as being topmost, he becomes asar. He becomes useless. He becomes useless. Now we see there are disciples of Srila Prabhupada who claim that if Prabhupada was here, they could change his opinion on certain things. And like this, they become useless. Advaita Acharya Prabhu also, he fed Haridas Thakur, but his descendants later rejected this whole thing and they became caste Brahmanas again. The very thing that Advaita Acharya fought against, they became. And in this way, these people, some of these followers, others, the so-called Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they criticize Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta. They said, what is this? He doesn't even come from a Brahmana background. This Bhakti Vinod Thakur is being worshipped. And he revealed the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. Come on. Give us a break. Like this, they speak very offensive things. And from Advaita Acharya Prabhu's life, we can understand that this happens. This happens. That when the Acharya is present, it seems that all the disciples are somehow going along, some things are going on. When the Acharya disappears, a lot of the true colors become revealed. And then there becomes problems. Because there are others who may have seemingly followed the Acharya in his presence, but never actually accepted his instructions. Then later, when they are confronted with those instructions, they develop different ideas and they turn against their own spiritual master. So, Advaita Acharya's life, his example, this is very, 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 there's so much that we can learn. Another thing that Advaita Acharya didn't like is Mayavadis. And how he displayed that with his own example. He started preaching Mayavad in order to attract Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and chastised him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu basically came and kicked him. And Advaita Acharya considered that as the greatest mercy. But it's obvious when one reads Advaita Acharya's life and pastimes and one reads his teachings that Advaita Acharya is not a Mayavadi. Yet, just like insincere disciples take certain actions of the spiritual master out of context and then claim to be followers of the spiritual master, there are so-called followers of Advaita Acharya who are just Mayavadis. And in this way, one can also understand, there is a lecture by Bhakti Vikas Maharaj on the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur as to how the Acharya can sometimes deceive his own disciples. In this way, Advaita Acharya deceived his own followers. You can attribute every aspect, every genuine quality of the spiritual master, you can find it in Advaita Acharya. And in this way, one can learn the glories of Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So there are many, many things. Another thing is Advaita Acharya, he's Acharya, but he's a Grihastha. Which means Grihasthas also can be Acharyas. It's not that the spiritual master only has to be a sannyasi. So there's another misunderstanding not too long after Srila Prabhupada passed away. The best spiritual masters are those who are Tridendi sannyasis. And the Grihasthas are somehow getting initiation from them wasn't like the best. Something like this. So, it is not that because some Vaishnava is a Grihastha and therefore his spiritual level or something like that, or just that he cannot enact the role of being a spiritual master, or that his disciples are somehow or the other less qualified than those who have accepted initiation from a spiritual master in the renounced order of life. It is not true. Advaita Acharya is worshipped by sannyasi Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Advaita Acharya never took sannyas. He never accepted sannyas. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regarded Advaita Acharya as his spiritual master. because Advaita Acharya was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So these are very important points. Advaita Acharya had a very qualified son, Achyutananda. And there is a wonderful glorification of Achyutananda in Chaitanya Bhagavat. How Achyutananda speaks a wonderful pastime. And also there is a lecture by Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. Recommend devotees to hear it. How Lord Advaita Acharya as Lord Shiva. Advaita as Lord Shiva. So there is another side of Advaita Acharya Prabhu, which I am not touching upon right now. Those who want to understand that may hear that lecture. But in this way, we can understand how worship of Advaita Acharya it's important. It's very important. Because it is by his mercy that we can attain Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Because by his mercy you attain Nityananda Prabhu, and Nityananda Prabhu you attain Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. We cannot approach Lord Chaitanya without understanding the 5 features. This is very important. Therefore, we say Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We don't just chant Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name. We always chant Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name with his principal associates. Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, and Srivas Thakur. Because we cannot approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we cannot understand him without this. The Apasampradayas, for instance, like Gauranga Nagaris, separate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from these associates. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, before even he starts describing the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, he explains Lord Chaitanya in 5 features. He presents all the glories of Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, and like this. Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas Thakur, everyone. Because it's very important to understand, otherwise Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot be understood. There are so-called followers of Lord Chaitanya in Tamil Nadu also, in South India. They chant, they sing Hare Krishna, everything. But they are Mayavadis. They even read Chaitanya Charitamrita sometimes. But they are Pakka Mayavadis. It's amazing. Because ultimately, they think that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give bhakti, because bhakti is what conditioned souls can practice, and through that bhakti, you ultimately will merge with God. Is what they say. And they advocate chanting, and they also say that you chant Hare Krishna, you can get good grades in your tests, and this and that, and all kinds of stupid things. They're very popular. My own parents are affected by this. What to do? So, they worship Chaitanya. You go to they have Gaur Nitai, deities. But what have they understood? What have they understood? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Mayavada Bhashyasunle Hoi Sarvanash. What is Mayavad? What the hell? What are you doing? Is there no conception? Because they have not surrendered to Panchatattva. They have not surrendered to the actual lineage of spiritual masters coming from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. As like typical Mayavadis, they mix and spice whatever they feel like taking from wherever they feel like taking, mix it all up. So every Mayavadi has his own flavor of Mayavad. Some are worshippers of Shiva, some are worshippers of Vishnu, some are worshippers of Durga. They all have their different flavors, but ultimately it's the same nonsense. Hare Krishna. So, any questions, comments? No? Time to go to sleep? Already sleeping.
I was just thinking,
Yeah.
what you were saying about these Mayavadis, last thing you said. Another very interesting Mayavadi interpretation of Mahaprabhu's pastimes comes from Advaitacharya's, those 3 sons of Advaitacharya, Balaram, Hiranya, and Jagadish. And their interpretation of Mahaprabhu's ecstasy at the end of his life was that he went crazy, he went insane as a sinful reaction for beating Advaitacharya. Such a
such a, such an offensive attitude. Such an offensive attitude. Yeah, it's crazy. It's completely crazy. It's insane. Yes, bro.
Prabhu, I couldn't remember, but did Srila Prabhupada play Advaita Acharya in a drama? Is that true? When he was younger?
I have not heard of that. I don't know about this.
Prabhupada played some play, right? And he was,
Prabhupada enacted a play?
or maybe he maybe conducted the drama. Maybe I could be wrong. It was something I've been thinking about today, but I don't know if
I don't know. That's news to me. I haven't heard of anything in that regard. I don't know.
Okay.
It could be true. I don't know. Anything else? Any other questions or comments? No. Mataji's? No. Okay. All right. Hare Krishna. Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki jai. Shri Advaita Saptami ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.